Hi guys, welcome back to Storytime Read Out Loud for you. Today's story is from day 2 of the Storybook Countdown Advent Calendar, Countdown to Christmas. Let's get started. Where is number 2? There she is, and it's Pinocchio. I have my 10-year-old. She's gonna read Jimmy. The cricket. So let's get started. Once upon a time, in a quaint little village, a beautiful wishing star shone brightly in the evening sky. A cricket named Jiminy spotted a lighted window and went inside. Jiminy Cricket looked around, amazed. He had stumbled on a woodcarver shop full of fantastic clocks, cute little music boxes, and shelf after shelf of toys. The shop belonged to a kind old man called Geppetto. Jiminy watched as Geppetto took his paintbrush and carefully painted eyebrows and a mouth onto a small wooden puppet, Figaro. His cat and Cleo, his goldfish, watched as he worked.
"I have just name for you,"
Geppetto said when he finished.
"Pinocchio."
He took Pinocchio on a little walk around his shop, balancing the puppet on his string. Later, Geppetto and Figaro climbed into bed. Geppetto gazed out of the window, looking up at the sky.
"It's the wishing star,"
He cried. Then he made a wish. As Geppetto slept, he dreamt about his wish for Pinocchio to become a real boy. Suddenly, a brilliant light filled Geppetto's room. It sparkled and grew into the beautiful blue fairy. She was there to grant Geppetto's wish. She waved her magic wand over Pinocchio and he became alive. The fairy explained that to be a real boy, he must prove himself and that he must let his conscience be his guide. And with a little coaxing from the blue fairy, Jiminy Cricket agreed to be his conscience. Then she was gone. Bing! Geppetto, hearing strange noise, jumped out of bed. He was overjoyed to see Pinocchio was moving on his own. Geppetto lifted him into the air and hugged him. The next morning, Geppetto explained how Pinocchio should go to school like all the other children. Hoping to make Geppetto proud, Pinocchio hurried off. He didn't realize two sneaky-looking characters called Honest John and Gideon were watching him.
"A live puppet with no string?
Honest John exclaimed.
We can sell him to Stormbully the puppeteer."
John tripped Pinocchio with his cane, then introduced himself and Gideon. Woo! Honest John convinced Pinocchio that school was a waste of time.
"Come with us,"
He coaxed.
"We'll make you a star."
Back at Geppetto's workshop, Jiminy Cricket hurried into his coat and hat and ran out of the door to follow Pinocchio to school. He saw Honest John, Gideon, and Pinocchio heading down the street in the wrong direction. Honest John led Pinocchio right into Stromboli's greedy hands. That night, Pinocchio made his stage debut. The crowd applauded wildly and threw gold coins at Pinocchio's feet. Pinocchio loved all the attention, and Stromboli loved all the money the little puppet had made him. Pinocchio wanted to tell Geppetto all about his new career, but Stromboli threw him in a cage and locked the door. Jiminy sneaked into the Stromboli's wagon. As Jiminy was trying to free Pinocchio, the blue fairy appeared. When she asked Pinocchio why he hadn't gone to school, he lied to her. Pinocchio's nose grew each time he told a lie. Eventually, Pinocchio promised that he would never lie again. The blue fairy agreed to give him another chance and set him free before disappearing once more. Jiminy and Pinocchio ran home as fast as they could. They didn't know Geppetto had been out all night looking for Pinocchio. In a nearby tavern, Honest John and Gideon were meeting with a dastardly coachman who had an evil scheme to lure boys to Pleasure Island. The coachman promised them lots of money if they helped. Soon, Honest John and Gideon were back on the street where they spotted Pinocchio. Honest John convinced the little puppet that he needed some rest and relaxation on Pleasure Island. They told Pinocchio all about the wonders of Pleasure Island: games, toys, candies, rides, and it was all free. Poor Pinocchio tried to catch up with them, but again it was no use. Outside the village, Honest John turned Pinocchio over to the coachman. Pinocchio climbed aboard a stage filled with boys. The coachman cracked his whip, and off they went to Pleasure Island. The stagecoach raced through the countryside, pulled by several scared-looking donkeys. On Pleasure Island there were fairground rides, lots of treats, and no grown-ups to tell them what to do. The boys could do as naughty as they liked. Pinocchio soon made friends with a boy named Lampwick. While Pinocchio was busy getting up to mischief with Lampwick, Jiminy Cricket explored the island. He came upon the coachman giving orders to his men.
Shut the door and lock them tight.
Jiminy knew he had to find Pinocchio right away. He found Pinocchio and Lampwick playing pool.
You're coming right home with me, Jiminy cried.
Lampwick laughed. Poor Pinocchio was caught between his new friends and his conscience. On his way back out, Jiminy saw the coachman and his men putting donkeys in crate.
You boys will bring me a nice price,
The coachman said, smiling. Jiminy realized that the donkey were actually the boys of Pleasure Island. Jiminy hurried to warn Pinocchio, but it was too late. Lampwick had already changed into a donkey and was charging around in fear. Poor Pinocchio stared in horror as he sprouted his own set of donkey ears and a tail.
We've got to get out of here, yelled Jiminy.
Pinocchio and Jiminy Cricket raced across the island, climbed up the cliff rocks, and jumped into the sea. Exhausted, they headed for home, but when they arrived, Geppetto was nowhere to be found. A dove flying overhead dropped a letter for Pinocchio that said Geppetto had gone looking for Pinocchio and had been swallowed by a whale named Monstro. Pinocchio and Jiminy headed back to the open sea. Pinocchio spotted Monstro just as the monster was waking up. Meanwhile, deep inside Monstro's belly, Geppetto was hoping for a miracle.
There isn't a fish left.
He explained to poor starving Figaro and Cleo.
If the monster doesn't wake up soon, I'm afraid we're done for.
Suddenly, Monstro started to swim. He was ready for lunch and opened his gigantic jaws, sucking in an entire school of fish. Pinocchio was swallowed up too when he reached the whale's belly. Pinocchio found himself in the arms of a very happy Geppetto. Now they had to work out how to escape. Then Pinocchio had an idea. He began chopping up furniture and made a fire. Monstro soon felt the fire in his belly inside. Everyone quickly jumped onto the raft that Geppetto had built and paddled towards the whale throat. When Monstro let out an enormous sneeze, he blew the raft out to sea. Monstro was furious. He chased Pinocchio and Geppetto. When he reached the raft, he smashed into pieces with his tail. Pinocchio, holding on to Geppetto's, swam with all his might. Bravely, he managed to lead Monstro into a collision with the rocks. Pinocchio made sure Geppetto got safely to shore. Geppetto came to the saw, Cleo in her bowl and Figaro lying safely on the shore beside him. But when Geppetto looked around for his little son, he found him lying face down in the water. Geppetto gently picked Pinocchio up and carried him home. Once inside, Geppetto laid Pinocchio on his bed and knelt beside him, wishing with all his heart for Pinocchio to wake up. Suddenly, the blue fairy appeared. She waved her wand over Pinocchio, saying,
You have proven yourself brave, truthful, and unselfish. Now you will become a real boy.
The lifeless wooden boy was suddenly transformed into a real live boy. Geppetto was so happy and his wish had finally come true. He wound his music boxes and everyone began to dance. What a celebration they all had. Hooray! It's the end. Thanks for watching. If you guys like this type of video, give it a like and subscribe, and see you tomorrow for day 3. Bye! See you next time. And don't forget to check out our other videos and playlists.